Ladies and gentlemen and NBs, ArenaNet has graced us with some more Guild Wars 3 news. It hasn't been that long, but it feels like we've been being drip fed. So finally, we got some more lore to elaborate on. I'm going to read it to you guys, so sit back and enjoy. And here we go. The Vael Wardens of the Orient Golden Age. The oldest guild in Or is on the brink of ruin. Will you raise their banner? Greetings, Tyrians. I am Aaron Linde, narrative lead on Guild Wars 3, with a curious question for you. What do you suppose Tyria might look like without the rampaging Elder Dragons? After almost 14 years of Guild Wars 2, that might be difficult to picture, but the annals of Tyrian history offer some glimpses of what a world might be like, and a few of those glimpses are as striking as the Orient Golden Age. In this mythic era, the Elder Dragon's slumber is at its deepest point in their long cycle. Their endless hunger for the magic flowing through the Tyrian silent and still, a season of radiance is spreading throughout the world, but nowhere as vividly as Or, where the magic flowed so richly and abundantly that it drew the human gods from the mist to Tyria, a place where magic itself, unbothered by its great predators and free to do as it is willed, bloom into the freest and grandest expression, a wondrous ecosystem of magical spirits unique to this period of Tyrian history known as the Vael. In Guild Wars 3, players take up the banner of the Vael Wardens, the protectors of this panoply, don't know what that word means, majestic spirits and magical wilds of Or they inhabit. Years before the gift of magic would be given to the mortal species of Tyria, the Vael Wardens, sanctioned by the human gods in support of their charge, are renowned in this period for their artificing and mastery of signets, small gems containing fixed expressions of magic, equipped with this power and sharpened by their close bonds with the spirits of the Vael. The Order finds itself teetering over the brink of ruin at Guild Wars 3 start, struggling to keep a foothold in a world that is rapidly and irrevocably changing. Today, we want to introduce you to the guild at the guild heart of Guild Wars 3, who are the Vael Wardens, where they come from, and why their fading vigil over the wilds of the Or makes them the perfect lens which they experience this fabled era. The article goes on to say, a cause worth dying for. The Order of the Vael holds a distinction as the first guild ever chartered in Or. Its origins trace to the earliest days of humanity's arrival in the region. When catastrophe tore a deep and lasting wound in Or's magical ecology, the first great loss suffered by the Vael since its emergence. A group devoted to the Vael spirits, those who would become the Order's founding members, met with the human gods, hoping to stave off the further ruin. They found unexpected allies in the goddesses Melandru and Duena, who, moved by the Vael's suffering, offered to sanction the creation of an order that could assure the Vael's protection and perpetuity. To prove their commitment to this cause, Melandru and Duena gifted the fledgling guild with the capacity to create and refine the signets, empowering the Order with the strength to fill its purpose. This is where the problem starts. They're meddling. The meddling guys, they're meddling. Good intentions turn to bad things. That's why they left, Tyria in the first place. They meddled too hard. And so it was that use of magic, previously held exclusively by the gods and Tyria's elder species. I'd love to know and be elaborated on what were all those elder species, passed for the first time into mortal hands. The Vael Wardens were the first to be blessed in this way, but that would not be the last, and as the settlement and development of Or proceeded, more and more came to Or, say that 3 times fast, seeking to make their fortunes and to wield this strange and incredible power for their benefit. Magic spreads in a rapidly changing Or. We go on to say the Vael Wardens made their home in the eastern Tugra Basin region of Or and began the long watch over the Vael, a vigil that would stretch more than 150 years by the time Guild Wars 3 begins. Those years drew settlers and fortune seekers from all corners of Tyria, lured by the immense opportunity gathering in Or. So saturated with magic was the land that it crystallized in the soil, condensed in the flora, and created all the manner of exploitable and valuable resources to be extracted. As more guilds were given access to their manufacture, signets proliferated as the decades passed, and magic became a coveted commodity. Signets were bought and sold, pilfered and stolen, and trafficked through the black markets, reaching all across Tyria, not Or, my bad. Meanwhile, against this backdrop of sweeping change, the Vael Garden's mission began to falter. The Vael took wound after grievous wound, and among them the deaths of several of its elders and ancients, the greatest and most wondrous of its creatures, insular by their nature and slow to open themselves to the wider world. The order entered a long decline, their numbers thinning year by year. For their part, the human gods seemed content to leave the affairs of greater Or to the guilds. They dealt with the loftier matters in the high city of Ara. Recent events, however, such as the posing of the Esterwile god of death, Doom Dum Dum, highlight this to a significant degree. The gods' high council sessions, where they meet with the envoys of the empowered guilds of Or. Oh my god, that's going to be... I mean, come on. Can we... That's going to be amazing, having basically just council sessions with all the gods and be like, yo, hey, can I talk to HR? This magic situation is way out of control. Having become rare with every passing year, and though Melandra and Duena empathetically enthusiastically agreed to the formation of the Vael Wardens, the Order's esteem among the Pantheon and the recognition of the Vael's importance was far from universal. By the start of Guild Wars 3, the Vael Wardens have been pushed to the margins, seen by ordinary Oriens and many of the guilds as aloof zealots clinging to a cause that died decades ago, obstructing the progress that some claim will uplift humanity and every sentient species of Or into the grand, glorious, and advanced future. Foremost among those rivals are the Mavenrites, a guild of industrialists who hold that magical wilds exist to be exploited, a birthright, as they see it, to all of Tyrians. Oh man, we have classic Tyrian capitalists versus the Tyrian hippies. That's what it sounds to me. This is gonna be amazing. I love the name though, Mavenrites. I think that name goes so hard, but this kind of rivalry really honestly gets me hyped, you know? It gets me really hyped. And with ending the entire blog post here is raising the banner. So then what does it mean to take up the banner of the Vael Wardens? As a Vael Warden, you're not a chosen one, anointed by destiny to save the world. You are the last of an order that the world has written off, defending and preserving spirits that few still believe are worth saving. You and those like you are all that stand between the fading majesty of the Vael and the forces eager to strip it for its parts. Exploring a world that is only just beginning to understand the revolutionary power it represents, you'll wield an arsenal of magical signets and deepen your relationships with spirits like your Seeker, more on that later, to see your charge fulfilled. You'll adventure the legendary lands of Or at the absolute height of its splendor, challenge the encroaching forces that seek to dominate and determine the course of the guild's future in uncertain, unsteady time, and you'll fight in service of the Vael and its wondrous spirits who have no one else to stand in their defense. The Order of the Vael's banner, a bit tattered and dirty, but still intact, awaits someone with the conviction to lift it. We think that someone is you. We cannot wait for you to see this vision of Tyria, these staggering and beautiful lands of Or, and this tumultuous, precarious period of its history through the eyes of the Vael Warden. I love how bittersweet that sounds. You know, like we're not starting from the top, we're starting from the bottom, and we're trying to go out in a blaze of glory with what we have left over, you know. And I do appreciate them really emphasizing that we are not like a chosen one, you know, kind of like how the commander can kind of come off of in Guild Wars 2, right? So all this sounds absolutely amazing. I am ecstatic about the depth they've gone into here of just like how we're going to interact with the world. What does that mean? What does magic mean? How is it traded? How is it, you know, trafficked through black markets through all of Tyria? Are we going to be in some kind of mechanism that stops that? Are we going to, what are we going to do? How are we going to protect the Vael? And how hard will it be? And how often or not often will these rival people we're going against, other rival guilds, will stand in our way? It's all very interesting, and I love it, and it's very grounded. The only thing that I am kind of worried about here is how involved the gods will be with us, right? Are they just going to let us play, or are they going to have a bigger role to play? I'm very curious on the story there and how they are intervened in it all, right? Because they've kind of made the problem, and and now magic's out of control, and now it's being sold, and now very interesting stuff, guys. I'm very excited for it. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I'm sure days and days from now, this is going to be dissected in every which way you can possibly imagine. But very exciting time for Guild Wars 3. I'm liking how grounded this story is, and I'm just downright excited. Very excited. So I'll see you guys next time on next one. See ya.